This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call a meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission for March 6, 2023 to order. My name is Vern Carlson. I'm the chairman of the commission. Tonight we have a fairly long agenda. We have one public hearing and then a little bit on the site plans and many changes of use. However, it should go fairly quickly, and how the meeting works is the applicant will bring the application to the commission. The commission will speak with them, and the public hearing will open it up to the audience and have whatever they have to say in regards to the application. We have that only one public hearing. The rest is just within the commission. With that, let me introduce to my extreme the staff is Andy Bevilacqua. He's our town engineer. Next to him is Alan Ferguson, our land use administrator. On my left is Catania, she's our court reporter. Next to her is Pam Miller. She is our staff secretary.
Rod Williams, alternate commissioner. Jim Giletti, regular member.
Teresa Ranciano-Vili, secretary.
Paul Wyman, vice chairman.
Brian Cummings, regular member.
Mark Parisi, alternate.
John Serrano, alternate member.
Okay, very good. With that, before we get started, is there any changes to the agenda, Alan?
I don't believe so, Vern.
Okay, good enough. Then we'll get started with the public hearing.
Yep. All right, public hearing 1, P07-08. Modification of the subdivision application of Matthew and Elizabeth Preet, applicant owner, relative to 37 Pond Hill Road, also known as 45 Pond Hill Road, map 75, lot 58, plan entitled Site Development Plan, Soil Erosion Control Plan, Grading Utility Plan, Parcel B, 37 Pond Hill Road, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Schill Associates, dated March 2005, revised 3708, scale 1 inch equals 40 feet, and it's an R40 zoning district.
Okay, is the applicant here? You want to explain to the audience and to everyone here exactly what you're asking us to do? As probably a modification on the subdivision.
Okay, Elizabeth Preet, 37 Pond Hill Road. Do you want me to read the letter? Or?
Whatever you'd like.
Good.
Okay. Dear Planning and Zoning Commissioners, in 2005 we put in an application to subdivide our 5.33 acres at 45 Pond Hill Road into 3 lots with separate driveways, sewer, and well water. We were approved by the Commission in 2007 for 3 lots with sewer, and we're told that we had to bring up public water from Clintonville Road 1,240 feet away. The cost of the public water was prohibitive then, and it certainly is now. It is well over the value of the 3 lots at the price of $475,000. Secondly, no one on the street wanted public water. Our neighbors loved their well water. Thirdly, Pond Hill Road, diagonally across the street from us, the lots become Clintonville Road, and both the water company and the regional water authority and Wallingford Water will not consider bringing up the water because they cannot loop it through because the street is split between 2 towns. So in 2013, directly across the street from our lots, Mr. John Taylor applied for a 3 rear lot subdivision with separate driveways, same scenario as our application. Mr. Taylor's application was approved with sewer and well water. He did not have to provide public water, even though directly across the street we were told we had to provide public water. So the 2 houses were built in 2014 on the then Taylor's property with sewer and wells with no issues. 1 lot was sold in 2014 but remains vacant. We are asking the commissioners to allow well water for the 3 lots at 45 Pond Hill Road. Thank you.
Okay, so what you're asking the commission to do is to remove the restriction of city water to driven artesian wells.
Right, remove the restriction of public water to well water.
Okay, so this is The modification is the approval. A modification.
Modification,
Okay.
yes.
Good enough. Okay. Anything else to say to the commission? Any of the commission, any questions? Brad?
Not right now, thanks.
Jim?
Now, I'm very well aware of this. Did the applicants see the comments of the fire chief?
Have you seen the app? Jim is asking you.
Did you see this?
Of the fire chief?
Fire chief, yeah.
Yeah, there is a hydrant right at the end of Fawn Bridge.
So let me just read what he says, because I don't know if you saw this. It says, due to the distance of the proposed homes from the nearest hydrant, consider extending the water main from the corner of Clintonville Road, Pond Hill Road, and installing hydrants every 300 feet. Alternatively, the builder may install residential sprinklers, which are some part code compliant and are designed to be acceptable to the North Haven Building Department. Just wanted to know, do you know that? Did you know
No,
that?
I didn't know that, so can you explain that again?
Even better.
Go ahead, Jim. I tried to, the fire marshal wants either fire hydrants in to service the lots or to put in sprinkler system in the structures that's gonna be built there. The houses that are gonna be built would be restricted to putting sprinkler systems in the house. Helen may have something to say.
There's the actual two sentences or so with the red highlight.
Well, there is a fire hydrant at the end of Fawn Bridge, so I don't know what you mean every.
I know what he means.
Well, that's, obviously, that's cost prohibitive, obviously.
Well, you're gonna have, we can't do anything about that, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
No.
Well, then it puts.
The commission is certainly gonna follow what the fire marshal said in a safety fashion. So, we can't override.
No, I understand that. Well, then there would be
any
sprinkler
such a thing as
systems
you
in the
bring up.
houses.
If you're not fully understanding what's going on,
May I speak? Prior to the,
Say
I'm
it.
sorry,
You are.
I'm sorry, Matthew Preet, 37 Pond Hill Road. Prior to this whole time that we've gone through, we contacted the fire marshal, who said himself, I do not need to have public water, but you need to have a sprinkler system in your house. That's exactly what he
Yeah,
said.
that's
So
what-
we are well aware of the sprinklers that need to be, it's a
Yeah,
code,
okay,
it's a
all right,
code
okay.
okay,
for everywhere.
then
Okay, good.
you're understanding.
Yep.
That's what
Got
he
it.
wants. He wants sprinklers in the house that you're building,
Okay.
whoever builds it. Okay, good, as long as you understand. it.
Okay, I get it now,
Sure,
okay.
good, clear understanding. Okay, well, we're gonna open this to the rest of the commission.
Let me just ask one more question. Andy, did you look at these lots? Can that be done? Is the water sufficient? Can they do sprinkler systems that are code compliant with the water in that area?
I mean, they'd have to pick it up through wells, they'd have to probably store it in a tank or something on site. That's generally how it's
So there'll be
done.
some
So
sort
it's a
of-
matter of whether the wells have enough yield. I mean, I assume they probably would, but, until the well's drilled and tested, you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily know.
Fair enough, thank you.
It seems like something that we're facing here, the subdivision 120 Half Mile Road is almost identical, two sort of lots up toward the front, one in the back, and he required the same thing. So it seems to be fact of life at this point, if there's no water line in the road.
Right, which is what we were trying to do.
Jim, he's required this as far back as when we did Patton Road.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as everybody has a good understanding of that. Okay, is there anyone else on the commission?
Not right now.
Okay.
Saving.
We'll right out to the public then. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition to this application?
Hi, I'm Eugene Zacco. I live adjacent to their property for about 26 years now.
Address, please.
Eugene Zacco, 24 Fawn Ridge Road, or Drive, whatever. Back about 15 years ago, I guess, these lots were approved as building lots. And at the time, I don't think anybody in the neighborhood had any significant objections to it, other than for, maintaining drainage, because my property and several other people here, their properties get impacted by the water off this property from normal runoff. Everything back then was 3 building lots with conditions of city sewers and city water supply. Back in, I got it right here, September in 2021, and here's where the confusion, and I need clarification. The attorney for the owners of the property sent in a letter to the commission here, and it says, "My clients asked the commission to modify the subdivision approval by designating Lot 4 the farthest of the northwest, not as a building lot until further action by the planning and zoning, and eliminating the requirement to supply lots 2 and 3 with public water or city sewers. That would enable them to use lots and so on." And then further on it says, "Clearly the developer of Fawn Ridge anticipated connecting Fawn Ridge to the land now owned by my clients, as evidenced by the reservation of 2 continuous 25-foot easements for a future road. I submit there is a reasonable likelihood of residential development for the St. Francis Cabrini Church, which is on the other side of their property from us, and inclusion a portion of Preetz Lot 4 as a continuation of Fawn Ridge Road to intersect Pond Hill Road." This opens a couple things. One is, I don't care where they get their water from, if it's a well or if it's city water. It doesn't impact my property or anybody else's. I've never heard any resolution as to will they be allowed in any way to use septic tanks, because I used to live on the other side of town and I had a high water table. I ended up selling my house because I had so many problems with leaching issues from the septic tank on my property. It was unrepairable according to some experts I had. Our concern would be if there was any form of septic tanks on this property, it's going to leach into my house, my property. It's going to be the adjoining property owner and 3 other houses down the road before it reaches a main stream. I'd like to have it clarified that nowhere along the line will there be septic tanks. And the other thing that was funny was there was 3 lots approved, yet apparently what they're doing is holding on to Lot 4, and Lot 4 will be purposely, I assume, be used with the church over on the other side when they sell the land, and they're going to try and put a street through our property. The issue I had why this started in the first place was this was going on for 15 years somewhere, and until recently we had no knowledge that anything was going on. There was no public hearing on this. If they're going to continue with this property and they're going to do something where they're going to come through our street and continue to, basically redevelop our whole street, I think we should have a public hearing that everybody on the street would be notified, rather than, I heard about it from luck that somebody happened to call me and say, by the way, they're having changes to this property. Nobody in my neighborhood had any prior knowledge to this property having modifications on it that could potentially change how it affects our property. And so basically I'm looking for clarification and basically a heads up that if anything further changes on this property, we should all be notified.
Well, as far as being notified in any changes on the property right now, as the property stands now, it has been subdivided. It is subdivided.
We understand that completely.
It is a subdivision.
And we had no problem with approving 3 lots there. But the condition right now said they're going to build on 2 lots and potentially use the 3rd lot to cut through for basically a street.
Well, allow me to try to clarify a couple of your points. I have here the stamp signed plans from the subdivision, which was approved in 3 lots, and there are no septic systems that are a part of this approval. It's all on city sewer. Okay, so there are no septic systems that are approved for any of these 3 lots.
I wouldn't have even made the issue except the fact that their attorney made the request already.
I think that that request was an error, but nonetheless, that request is not what's being evaluated. Elizabeth Preet and Matthew Preet's request is to waive the public water requirement. That is the extent of their request.
Which I have no issue with because it won't hurt my property,
So, but let me address one thing. What this gentleman just said is this proposed change, whatever it is, he didn't get notice of because it was being done without a public hearing until I complained about it, and then he showed up the last time, and then it went to the town attorney. So it was going forward without notice to the neighbors, which I complained about and was not right. So he's here and he's entitled to get an answer to his question, which you gave him, which is there's no
acceptable. Yes.
there's no septic. So if the plan doesn't say septic, they can't do septic without coming in front of us again. So there's no
Exactly.
plan that's been allowed to allow septic, so that problem is gone.
But here again, this went forward, as you already said, with no notifications.
Well, but that one, the one you have the letter from, was denied at that time. That one was, they came in front of us and that did not go forward because it was voted down at that time. Then there was the next meeting that you were at, the last one, and after that one, we went to the town attorney, brought us here and said we need to have a public hearing.
We understand they've been trying to build there for 15 years.
I get it too.
And we have no issue with them building there as long as it's
Understood.
not going to affect our properties where we are.
Got what you're saying.
And if future changes are made, we want the public to be notified that something's happening. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak in opposition? Anyone else? Anyone here would like to say anything or in favor of this subdivision?
You want to say something?
Yes, step ahead, please.
Edmundo Frada, EDMONDO, FRATTA.
Address?
18 Thornridge. Excuse me, because this is the first time I'm being in these meetings, so I don't like to make mistakes.
Take your time, sir.
I am right at the edge of that property. I have actually 3 properties from Pond Hill Road that come into my yard. And right now, we get a lot of water from there. And my yard doesn't dry up until about maybe June. Now, I just heard that there's no septic tanks there. You guys say no septic tanks, because what I was worried about was, we know that land is like a bowl. It's a big bowl. We got a high end over there, and we got a high part on Pond Hill Road. So no matter what they do, or no matter what restriction you're gonna give them to build down those lots, the water is gonna come in my backyard, in Gene's backyard. Now, I was under the impression that they were gonna put septic system. And if you put septic system there, when it rains, you actually gonna add water to the place, because if they build 3 houses, an average family is 4 or 5 people. That means all the water is gonna go into the leaching fields if they were gonna go with that. But the same thing is, I'm getting nervous. The way the land is shaped, once all that's clear, and the driveways, and the roof, and the street, if there's no sewers or nothing like that there, all that rainwater has nowhere to go but in our backyards. Now, I don't have a problem them building there, but I just want to know from you guys, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, when my backyard gets flooded even worse, whose door do I go knock on? Who do I come and see?
Let me just, I will do one better now. Let's go to our town engineer, who will speak to your concern about the drainage.
You're welcome.
I don't think I will.
I need you to.
Well, I have not studied it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't look at it.
Yeah, okay. But
I mean, the consideration in this application was the water main. I was instructed that I had no reason to review the rest of the application, so I did
Oh, you
not.
didn't look at it?
Correct.
So, but just remember that land, I don't know if you noticed, you got 20, from my backyard, you're up 20 feet to Pond Hill Road, and you're about 15 feet to the railroad. And I'm right at the bottom of that. And Gene is right next to me. And from me, it has to go to the other neighbors. So no matter what happens to that land, where they build, that water is gonna come to my backyard. And right now, my yard, it's not bad. By June, I'm able to walk in the back. But when they build this and they cut all the trees and all the driveways and all the other stuff, that's what worries me a little bit. That it's gonna come.
If I can just say this, Andy was not here 15 years ago,
I understand.
so he hasn't reviewed it, but we had a town engineer at the time. He reviewed this, and they met the requirements that he had imposed. So I don't want to say or lead you to believe that the town didn't review it. At the time, it was reviewed.
I am
They
sure you
found it-
guys reviewed it, but what I would like to know is, because I'm not that smart, but common sense tells me that water does not go uphill, and it's only got one way to go. And if I stand in my backyard and I look at the land, I see a mountain over there, I see a mountain over there, and I see a mountain over here. And we're right in the hole.
Yeah, there is a detention basin that is shown on the drawings and designed into it, and there are drainage provisions there. I'm not a civil engineer, I can't speak to that. You're welcome to come in and review the drawings at some point.
So, and let me mirror what he says. I don't know, in the first application, was I here? I don't remember. But when we did the subdivision application, we had to have looked at drainage. I
Oh,
don't remember.
without question, without question.
That's
Would have
correct.
had to have, right?
Correct.
So, but my question, so we did look at it. I'm not-
Excuse me 1 second, we were looking at drainage with sewers. Okay?
This-
And that's what we had.
If you had sewers, if you had
But
sewers.
we're still looking at drainage with sewers.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, we
Yes.
still gonna have sewers?
Yeah, we're gonna have-
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I thought there was.
Now, this issue was about water, not about sewers.
Okay.
That didn't change.
Well, no, I figure if you have sewers, you're gonna have sewers in the street and the
Yeah,
water's
and
gonna
water.
go to catch
No,
basin.
no, no.
and go to the
Unfortunately
lake.
not.
And now it's not gonna, the water can't go anywhere but my backyard.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, we did look at it back then, you're saying you didn't look at it again. My question, just so that I understand the process here, when they go to get building permits, and like you just said, there's a detention pond down there, when they pull permits for this, do you look at the drainage issue again, or does that not get looked at again? Because
It
when
does.
when it's first done, you don't cite the house until they come with the actual
Right.
permit, right?
Correct, correct.
So do you then look at this, the whole drainage issue and impervious surface and all that stuff?
As it generally affects the site itself, yeah.
It generally affects the site itself. I don't know what
So the
that-
lot itself, in other words, I'm not gonna look, quite a ways away from that particular lot. I'm gonna make sure that what they're proposing in that lot development
Right.
is gonna work and is not gonna potentially cause any major issues.
Right, I
So-
mean, as I understand it, when you develop these things, you can't adversely affect the flow onto your neighbor's property. Isn't that like a general principle? That's not supposed to happen.
Correct, you can't make the situation worse.
Can't make the situation
Right.
worse.
If the water goes there already, it would continue to
That's
go
the
there.
rule when they come in front of them. I just want you to know that. So they will look at it, and it was looked at. That was, this issue was.
I'm just talking about 2, 3 years from now, 5 years
I
from now.
understand.
My backyard
I get
is
it.
flooded, who do I call?
Yeah, I would call
Ghostbusters?
Alan.
Alan? He won't be here today.
Nice guy. Listen, I know,
You
you know, 15 years.
you can
I'll get off the
try.
commission at that point.
probably 10 years, I know
I
exactly
don't mean
where
to
you
make
live.
fun of it.
Yeah,
You're
you've been to
legitimate.
my
I know,
understand.
I know
You've been to
exactly
my
where you
house.
live, I know your situation.
Right, you've been
I'm
to my
very
house.
familiar with the whole situation.
Okay.
And
I
I
just,
know.
like I said, I
we
don't have a
talked-
problem with them building there, but I just want to make you guys aware of
I understand.
what the problem
Believe
that
me.
I'm gonna have,
Yeah.
you know, once they do build these houses, because water cannot go uphill. It's,
No question. Nobody on this commission wants to hurt you or anybody else
Okay.
whatsoever. You know, we want to make they're supposed to make this better for you.
right, I
You know,
hope so.
Wow.
the runoff is
least
supposed to
no
be,
worse.
is supposed to be zero increase at all. So, I'm hoping that everything works out well for you and everybody else as far as that.
And I
I know
hope
we
the same
discussed
thing.
that so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, in any event, I hope that
So-
satisfies you for that.
I did pretty good.
There you go.
You did good. You did
My
good.
blood pressure is about 300.
You're gonna be on TV later.
On TV too? Oh my God, 400.
Okay,
Anyone else?
one second.
Anyone else?
Anyone else like to speak in respect to this application? Anyone in favor of this application? Any comments for this application? Okay. Matt, did you want to say something?
If I can for one more second, or one more minute, I just want you to know that this has been a long process for us all, and if Alan actually looks on the drawing when it was engineered, Mr. Zacco has a drain that comes into our property that we have not complained about or not done anything about. When it was engineered, we've been very kind and have not expressed that, so the water from his, can you see that there, Alan?
There's a drain that was shown here that was actually,
I know.
Okay, well, if
That was over
if we don't need to
property
know that,
line.
I just want to.
my understanding is that it has been relocated back onto Mr. Zacco's property.
Okay.
I understand that from him.
Fair enough, then,
Matt,
that's
as
all, I
long as you're
just,
satisfied with it,
that's fine,
okay,
we're all set, thank you very much.
okay.
Right. I guess.
One of the other concerns that I heard from the letter was about the easement. And there's been no talk and nothing before us to do anything with that easement, other than leave it the way it is. That's, our approach.
I know-
Nobody's come before us to do anything with that easement.
I know you were concerned about the easement going up there. As far as, I've looked into this thing as deeply as I can to be sure that everybody is protected here, and I think they are. I went to our town attorney, who I asked him to take a look at this thing for me. I asked her to dig into it as far as she could, and they did, and they came back with that they didn't think it was open for anybody to use. So there is no intent to go onto that easement because they don't own it. The easement belongs to the town. So it's really not there for
Does
anybody else.
Does that put your mind at ease?
But let's just understand something. The configuration of these lots, as it's shown, and as it's approved, and as it's filed in the town clerk's office, that subdivision plat does not show a utilization of the Fawn Ridge right-of-way, if you will. And in order to use it, you'd have to reconfigure. In order to get up to the St. Francis Cabrini Archdiocese property, you'd have to reconfigure this. To reconfigure it, there's gonna be a public hearing, and you'll be right here, you have a chance to say something about it.
That leaves the mysterious lot 4 as to what
You
value
can't
does it
talk
have.
from
You gotta
there.
identify yourself.
Step right up front, you want to speak?
Lot 4 is our house. That's a house.
Guys, you can't do this. Stop.
Hold on.
Come on,
Right now.
if you want to speak, come up here.
Me again. Lot 4 is the lot at the far end away from their home. And according to this letter, they're gonna leave it as unused until
Yeah, but
further.
No, forget that letter.
Yeah.
That's not what that's not what their proposal is, that's not their request. That request was denied.
In whole,
Okay,
none of that is real.
I go home, thank you.
Okay, good night.
The North Haven Library will be closing in 30 minutes.
You can
All
ignore that.
computers, Wi-Fi, and internet will automatically shut down in 15 minutes.
Anyone else
All
would like to
purchases
speak in
for the
respect to this
bookstore and
application?
cafe, and all
Commissioner?
library card applications must be
Anyone
done
at
at
commission?
7:45.
Public hearing's closed. Okay, thank you very much, folks. Okay. Teresa,
Okay.
you want, this is a site plan, Teresa, I want to read it again. You don't
Okay.
normally do this, but we're going to take 2 and 3 together, we're going to take the CAM application with this plan.
And there is no public input.
There is no public input
To let you
any
know.
further.
So site plan 2 and 3, so that's P 23-01, site plan application of John Zerlis, applicant, Vivian LP owner, relative to 200 McDermott Road, map 3, lot 6, plan entitled Chiller Unit Addition for Medtronic, 200 McDermott Road, North Haven, Connecticut, dated January 5, 2023, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, IL 30 zoning district. Taking that with P 23-01A, which is the CAM application of John Zerlis, applicant, Covidian LP owner, relative to 200 McDermott Road, map 3, lot 6, plan entitled Chiller Unit Addition for Medtronic, 200 McDermott Road, North Haven, Connecticut, January 5, 2023, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, IL 30 zoning district.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Hello, John.
Good evening. My name is John Zerlis with TPA Design Group, office at 85 Willow Street. I'm here representing Medtronic with a request for a minor expansion of the Medtronic development. There may be some new members, so very quickly, I would just like to point out the complete campus for Medtronics. Down here we have the parking garage. This is the main manufacturing plant. Down here is office. This is the what's called the PDBMF, which is a polymer development braid manufacturing facility. And the
Oh, John, you need to use the mic. Sorry.
better? Oh, okay. And up in the back here is what's referred to as the Mars building, which used to be the Mars department store. Now it's called the Specialty Needle. Our expansion wants to take place in this little corner of the existing main building. There's an enlarged plan. Want to put in a small building of 480 square feet, which would be the chiller, which has to do with their manufacturing. The smaller building at, I forget what it was, 360 square feet is for their switch gear, which is all the mechanics that connect the chiller into the manufacturing facility. That's basically what our application is for. With regard to CAM, yes, we are in the CAM area, but there are no environmental, since this is a completely developed site, there are no issues with the CAM. So I'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
If I can offer up something relative to the CAM. John has pointed out that it's CAM exempt, and I believe he's correct. When the drawings initially came into the Inland Wetlands Commission and P&Z, there were a couple of questions about the key plan and exactly where it was and exactly how big it was. John took it back, he revised the drawings, etc., and it looks a little different than it looked at the time. As it is turning out in the final design, I believe it's exempt under a minor addition, specifically under the CAM regs. Yes, it's within the boundary, but it's exempt because of its relative size relative to the building.
Good enough. So too small. Okay. John, I'm just gonna ask you, where exactly on that print here, maybe I was paying attention, where's the building addition go on?
Building addition?
Pick up the map again and show
Yeah.
where's the,
The whole campus.
Oh, the whole. At this scale, it's, that's why I kind of outlined it, let me turn this. It's right over where I've got this darker, the darker circle in here.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Got it? Okay.
It's in a paved area.
it is in a.
Yeah, and they'll be using the existing, there's an existing concrete slab there that they'll be building on. Correct.
Okay. Anyone on the commission have any questions?
No?
You got it?
You know, I can't find it now, but when I was reviewing this before, I saw that it looked like there was a gas line that's gonna be cut. That's going
Excuse me?
through. It looked like there was a gas line that was going to be cut and
Gonna be
replaced.
relocated.
Right? And so the question I had was, it looked like it continued once it went past the part where it gets cut off. So is that, do you know anything about that? It's not sort of disturbing something down the line, I assume it's not.
You know, the gas line will be continued, and it'll just be relocated.
Okay.
Are you asking the question, is it going to be removed? The other?
It just looked like it continued down the line. I didn't know whether it was depriving some other part of the building, but I suppose they have that all worked out, right? So I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay.
You good, Ron?
I'm good.
Jeff?
yep.
Commissioner?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good.
Just a question, have you read Andy and Alan's comments when you're good with
And
them?
you had no comments, and there was one comment from Alan, which we will address.
Okay, so you're good with them all?
Yeah.
Mark? I'm good. John? Good enough? Staff?
I'm good. We're
Thank you,
good.
John. Good enough?
Thank you very much.
If I can ask you something while John's up here, you have one item under other, we're going into other now.
Oh.
John has one thing under other
You want to get that, John?
that we have listed under 86 Quinnipiac Avenue. It is on the Medtronic campus.
Okay.
Yeah. What Alan is referring to is let me give a quick, it's adjacent to the Mars building. It's a 12-foot-6 square the concrete foundation for a tank, discharge tank from their operation of the specialty needles. And there's no, we're not in any can or wetlands or anything like that. Rather than go through and do a full application, speaking with Alan, that's why we put it under other, small.
Just so I understand, so what is it? It's a tank, it's a water tank
Yes, 5,000 gallons.
that's now gonna be behind the building somewhere?
It's gonna be on the side.
So is it exposed to like cars? Can anybody hit it? Is it
It'll
protected?
be
Bollard?
bollards, yes.
Okay, so that's part of the application, that, or should we say it needs to be bollard? That's my question.
You can say it needs to be, I'm just looking, they have pretty good drawings.
What?
That should be valid.
Of course, yeah, and maybe it says it's going to be, I don't know, that's
Where-
all.
I don't believe that.
I don't see it, I think that's a valid thing to just
We
add.
probably should just
Okay,
add
we can
that.
add
You
it.
don't care,
Sure.
you're gonna do it anyway.
Right.
That was my only question.
Okay. I think everybody's all set? Okay, with this, we got the tank, we're talking about the tank now. You guys all set? Okay, good enough, thank you, John.
Okay,
That
thank
gets
you.
that out of the way. Okay.
What? Oh, the women, are they? Yukon's women.
Get into other, Alan, when you get into other, we'll fill that, finish that out.
It won't, but you can proceed on it. So if you want to move to 8 Massimo, I
Right.
think that would be next.
Right.
Is anybody here for that, Matt?
Yep. Good evening. Jim Preddy, Criscolo Engineering, 420 East Main Street, Branford. So we're here for slight modification to the proposed plan versus what was built. And I think this started as a bond reduction, if I'm correct, right? They were trying to get the bond reduced. Came in as a bond release.
So there was and what I've submitted to you was the plan that was originally approved, the plan that was modified, and then the as-built. And the only real difference this was the plan that was originally approved, small extension of pavement area and some parking expansion in the front with the addition. The addition, when we came in and modified it, the addition did not change. They wanted to expand the area for parking because at the time you had a tenant that needed to store a number of vehicles here. And then they expanded the front parking. So when that tenant became no longer part of the picture, he went back to the original expansion, but still did the parking in the front. And at some point, there was 3 dry wells to be installed. This plan originally only had 1, but he did install 2. Other than that, it became sort of a hybrid. This was part of the modification, this was part of the original plan, but they're pretty much done, and they're looking to get their bond released, and it was suggested that we come back and explain the changes.
So let me just understand this.
Yeah.
So you had an
I don't
original.
know if I simplified it or made it worse.
Yeah, so you had an original plan, but
Yes.
you modified that.
We came back and modified it.
I know you did.
Yes.
And with that modification, there was supposed to be some additional pavement in the back,
In the
right?
rear, right.
Where you pointed. And now you've done it because you lost that tenant and don't want that pavement.
They don't need,
right?
he's gonna keep, my understanding, he's gonna keep it for himself, for his own storage. So this is all crushed stone back here, he's gonna store materials, but no vehicles.
No, I get it. So we need to change to a plan again, back to part the first one and part the second one. That's really where we are,
That's
right?
exactly
That's
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, it's,
So how do we
Less.
make sure that this third thing is, if we agree to this, the plan, so if there's a change later on?
Because this is how it's built.
Yeah,
But
because that's
It's not
as-built.
an actual application though, this is an other, right?
correct.
So we've run into this problem before, I just want to know how do we, I don't have any real problem that we don't put more impervious surface on.
But that'll be filed at the town as the plan, right? Mylar
Right.
filed?
Well, it will, and the way this came up was a bond release request.
Yeah.
So at this point, so Andy drives out there and he looks at it, doesn't match.
The plan.
I say there was an earlier plan, well, it doesn't match that either.
Right.
But yet, all of these features individually were approved by this commission.
Well,
Two
so
different
the
approvals.
last
Yes.
approval
Yeah,
said
two
they
different-
have, we're gonna put pavement in the back. So
That's
now they want to be relieved of that requirement, correct?
Correct.
But, and I don't have a problem with it, I just wanna make sure somehow we end up saying, this is the plan for next time. So how do we do that? If we
Well,
say,
the plan that the as-built plan that they submitted, they're not proposing to do anything else out there.
so this
so they're
is the
basically-
as-built?
Correct.
Right, the third plan was the as-built.
So by our saying yes to whatever is there today, we would be saying that as-built is now the plan for this property?
Yes.
Essentially, yes. Right.
And we'll take what you received, the drawings from Jim Preddy, the priceless explanation as to what as to what this was, and we'll place it in the site plan
Yeah.
file.
That doesn't sound, that's not very.
Frankenstein plan.
Yeah.
And I get it, I get why it happened, I just wanted to make sure that we've got an end result and saying that's it, you know? Not that they can't change that again later, I couldn't care less, but I just wanted to know where we are. Because what you did is exactly right, you shouldn't have signed off on the, because it wasn't in accordance with our last site.
I was waiting to come in and have you ask me if everything was done in accordance with the plan,
And
in which I was gonna say no, so
And we was-
that's how we ended up where we're at, right?
You could have said which one.
Right.
But I said,
So,
yes.
yeah, so the original site had one drywall in the back.
Right.
They expanded the pavement slightly from the original
But North Haven
plan.
Water will be
They put a
closed.
second drywall in as part of that.
Right.
They didn't put the third one in.
Right.
And that was the big thing that raised my,
But now we've got
concerns.
2 dry wells, but with no pavement back there.
Correct,
so we're
correct.
good
And I'm
enough.
comfortable with the number of dry wells versus the pavement, you know, so.
Got it. Okay. I'm good.
Good enough, Jim?
Kind of an unusual
I think
situation.
so. I'll probably be back with a bond release soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
and now it'll be in accordance with what we said.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ron? Okay, thank you very much.
Everybody's good? Okay, thank you.
Okay, fast move, going on to 323 Washington Avenue. Thanks.
So I'm back again 6 months later. Coming from Vines, formerly known as mine. My name is Jayesh Meher. I'm the owner at World Class Liquor and Wine.
Spell your last name.
Meher, M-A-H-E-R. The reason I'm here today, I'm trying to put a cooler inside my location. I need to place a condenser unit on the rear side of the building. So I wanted to request permission from you guys. I do want to put a concrete pad there with steel bollards filled with concrete. So that would be the best way I could get that cooler in. So I just come in to get the request, the approval from you guys.
And you're gonna lose 1 parking space.
1 parking space, yeah.
In the back.
In the back, yeah. On
Or
the
I
west
didn't
side.
even know there was parking.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knows.
Sure. Teresa, you go right.
Yeah.
We did mark it on the plan if you want to review it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good to go?
I have no questions.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for coming by.
Okay, 320 Washington Avenue. We want to put in an electrical plug to charge vehicles. Is there anyone here for
Oh,
that?
Diane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, senior
You got a drawing? Okay,
Is there someone here to represent this?
is anyone here for the,
We actually made contact with the individuals doing it today, and they indicated they would be here.
okay?
I don't know if this is something that,
So let me ask you
consider-
this, do we need more than this to allow this to happen? I
I don't-
don't have a problem with it, I understand what they want to do. Should they be making their revised site plan? We do. We know what they want to do, I don't see, it's not a surprise.
typically, for just a plug-in, single-car station that's at an existing building,
Yeah,
we have done it under other. Moro Motors, Nissan.
all right.
But if someone's coming in with a standalone charging station with a massive box in the middle of the parking lot,
Transformer.
that's been a site plan.
Well, what is this?
This is just adding the plug-in stations.
They're gonna run 220, the 200 amp service up to there and only be pulling 50 amps per unit, and there's gonna be 2 units from what I understand.
There is a relatively schematic site plan
I
that's
I
there.
could draw that, and I can't draw.
We think Jim helped them on
Yeah.
that one perhaps, I don't know.
So they show bollards on the first kind of drawing. What is that? I mean, is that, they're showing bollards on two sides. Is that good, Andy?
Yeah, it just does
Okay,
something to
you're good.
protect, keep a car from smashing into the charging
Right,
station.
so I mean, on two sides is fine.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm
Good.
okay.
I don't think we need anything. Good.
I want to discuss one thing on this, and it's, when I get gas at some of the stations, I'm greeted by commercials that are playing all the time. Are these gonna play commercials, because they have neighbors back there, and I would hope they wouldn't be charging cars and having commercials play in the middle of the night.
You know,
It's a good question.
I don't think so, and I'll,
Never seen that.
I'm gonna say this. Our signage regulations prohibit
So they could not do that.
an off-site advertisement. So that would not be something that we could do. Now, it's a little difficult, you just go into a gas station somewhere, as you say, and something comes up on a screen like this, and, you know, I don't know if it's for Citizens Bank or, you know, what it is. I don't know, we're still kind of up in the air on all of that,
Well,
but.
that's quiet during the day with the ambient noise, but at night, you know.
No, he's right, yeah.
Yeah, but I think these are gonna want in front of the building.
They are in the
They're right up on
extreme
Washington Ave, so-
southwest corner
Yeah.
of the
This one
property.
is on Washington Avenue?
Yeah.
It's on the front, in the front of the building?
Yeah, it's right up on Washington Avenue. So it'll be away from the residential property.
Off the
Yes,
light.
yes.
That's not good point, everybody. That's fine. Good point, though.
All right, extension.
Right?
I'm okay.
Yeah, but thank you. Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Now, we got this, we got the 86,
Yeah.
86 Pontiac Avenue.
We did,
We just-
John Zerlis presented that already.
That was the other Medtronic.
Oh, that was it. Okay, good enough. So, moving on now, we're right down to change of use,
No, the extension,
the extension.
So
Hartford Turnpike.
we could just do that during deliberation, probably, just go right through with it.
With the, for Muzio?
Correct.
Okay.
The subdivision they're looking for, I think the second of their two possible.
Okay, go down to the change of use. You want to do the bond release?
What,
We do bond release?
Yeah.
Sure.
We only have one. 342 Washington Avenue. It's the gas.
So this is the gas station.
Oh, hey, Ron.
Oh, this is
Your
this.
baby.
So the first two pictures are
Yeah.
two
Okay.
pictures of the original trees and the growth that didn't happen. And then the last picture is the new trees that they just planted.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, we gotta give a star.
You gotta show Rod that.
I gotta give a star for the, oh, the hold on, it's great. I'm telling you. Boy, I'm telling you.
I don't understand this issue.
With the trees that were dead.
so-
I know, I wasn't here.
Nah,
Nice.
so maybe just to summarize, those,
Good.
the,
That's what it looked like before.
the small bushes were replaced with bigger bushes.
So those are the original dwarf trees?
Yeah.
What are they now? Did you get the variety?
So you just
What's that?
showed
Did you get the species?
Here, can I
They're
pass
emerald
those back
green
and
arborvitae.
So they're gonna-
So they're.
Yeah, they'll grow fine.
And that's only after 2 months in the ground. Imagine that.
Well, you-
Okay then.
No, they did not grow, they're new, they're different shrubs.
Was that the only issue?
That was the only issue. We had a bunch of things, we worked through most of it. That was what was left, so.
And the place is so nice.
It is, it really is. They really did a great job.
You're
on it.
good with that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
You're good with that?
Okay then.
There you go.
Right, now we can change these.
Okay, change these, 2 Broadway. Okay, we have that. Is there someone here for 2
Here's
Broadway?
one.
is Jamie Pressman, and I live at 119 Main Street in Durham.
So tell us what you want to do.
So I am looking to expand my business into the next space. It's
North Haven Library is closing in 5 minutes. Please bring all items to check out at this time.
It was it's empty. It was Companions and Homemakers. It's 700 square feet, so I'm just looking to make that a salon. That's pretty much it.
So you just want to move over and take that space as well as what you
Yeah.
have?
Yep.
Okay.
In addition.
In addition to the space I currently have.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Will you knock the wall down?
No, I'm just gonna create like an entrance way into the next room.
Yeah, okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm good.
I'm fine. Good.
it was a quickie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, 51 Giles Avenue.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Commission members. My name is Dominic DiMartino, and I'm the owner of 51 Giles Avenue, North Haven. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to hand out some pamphlets to the Commission.
Sure.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's what this is.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't do that. You can have mine.
I may be bringing up some old hat here, but the letter that's attached by paperclip was a tenant that we never had the proper use to be inside of this building, and today we got a return of the keys and a signed off letter that they have left the premises, so they're no longer inside of the facility, and they were known as Right Coast Customs LLC. So this letter just indicates that as of today, they turned the keys back over and they're completely out of the space.
That's page one you're talking about.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dominic, we talked about that before, that company, because they would leave cars out
Right.
and back, and, you know, like they were stored.
Correct. And
They
they had
didn't have the outside storage.
Did they remove them?
Yes, and they had a spray booth inside as well that's no longer located in the facility, so they're totally gone. If you look at the next page, it gives you letters, and the letters will indicate, you know, who is in what space within the facility. I'd also like to note, after today, if we're successful in getting this accomplished for the change of use, the building will be 100% occupied at 51 Giles Avenue. So currently what I'm here for tonight, if you look at space G, it's 8,919 square feet, and it's being occupied currently by Flagship Press, Inc. They've been a tenant inside of this building for the past 5 years, and their business is expanding, and they would like to lease space K, J, and H. We were in control of space H, and we were using this to store vehicles of my construction company and basically miscellaneous stuff that just found its way at Giles Avenue. So, and then K and J were occupied by this gentleman here. We are now in possession of everything, and we're asking that there be a change of use to allow Flagship, who currently occupies G, he'd like to occupy the other 3 spaces to the right of the building, and he's signed an additional 5-year lease on the entire facility, including G.
110 is gonna wind up taking, the one that's in G is gonna take K, J, and H.
Correct. they'll have approximately 20,000 square feet, and they do embroidering of hats, and they do T-shirts and bandanas and screen pressing, things of that nature. And the business is well, yeah, they do this here. But the business is taking off very well, and they've taken another almost 10,000 square feet.
What's that, that's Top Deck Promotions?
Correct.
Okay, yes.
No, flagship press.
What's the other?
Just about doubling their size?
Correct. A little more than double. Because right now they're in 9,000. They're in just under 9,000 square feet. They're going to almost 20,000 square feet.
Almost all manufactured.
It's manufacturing, and they got some interesting machines in there. They have one machine that I refer to as an octopus, where they put on T-shirts over like 12 different arms, and the machine rotates and screens with colors. And I know they do things for bands and all kinds of interesting, clothing articles.
So as soon as somebody wins the World Series, they're at it.
They're the ones. They're the ones. You can get it right here in North Haven. You don't got to go to the event.
How many do they employ there?
So I don't know that offhand, but we have two spaces per 1,000 square feet. If I had to guess, I'm going to say they probably have 15, 20 employees. As you can imagine.
Or is that what they're going to have?
That's what they have now. It's a pretty automated shop. They have one machine where they can do 20 or 30 baseball caps, where you just place the baseball cap down, you press a button, and the machine, embroiders it and sews it. So it's fairly automated.
Automated.
So the two separate changes of use are really for the same tenant.
Right.
Okay.
It's coming from two different.
That was what I was going to get to. So we're taking both at the same time now. We're taking 51 and 51, and it's both manufacturing, but there's two different people in there now.
The reason that we put it as two different applications is that we started an eviction on K&J, and I wasn't confident that I'd have control over the facility, and we were moving on H because we were in control of that. In the event that I only had control over H, we wanted to come in to get the use approved to H, and then, but Mr. Frederick thought we could get this done at one shot. It would make sense, and it turned out that as of this morning, we actually got the letter and the keys back. So it worked out.
That's good. Glad to hear that. Any questions from the commission?
No? No, I'm just, I will make a comment that I'm glad your old tenant is gone.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to miss them either.
So you take this one up during deliberation?
Say again?
You'll take this one up during deliberations?
I think so. All of them.
Yeah, well, so you're
Okay,
good.
we got
Thank you.
342 State Street. Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Whoever's going to speak, just take the microphone and state your names.
So, my name is Hushab Shekli. Me and my son, Mahmoud Shekli, are trying to start a business as a driving school at 342 State Street. And this place used to be a yoga studio class. And it is very well equipped with the front door, back door, and bathroom. And we are proposing to the zoning office of the City of North Haven to approve the change of use from yoga studio to driving school.
So you're proposing to bring into this same space?
Yes.
A driving school?
Driving school. Same class.
Yeah, okay. So how many vehicles do you suppose you're going to have in the driving?
We use 2 vehicles, and we don't use more than these. We drive them, taking them home with us. So like at night, nothing is like staying on the property. So yeah, that's all.
I can gonna be classrooms there?
Yes, classroom.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's all online, but when everything comes back to normal, we'll have some kids in class, even adults.
What about adequate parking for the students?
And no, those students don't come with, they are learning how to drive. They are not drivers yet.
So somebody drops them off?
Yeah, somebody drops them off, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's what driving schools always tell them. We don't need any parking, they don't have a
They
license.
don't know how to drive. We teach them how to drive.
Randy, you're gonna take them start to finish, you're gonna show them how to pass the written and driving. Is
Yes,
that
yes,
correct?
yeah. Written, all rules, the traffic signs. Actually, the wrong idea about driving schools is it is a center or an institution to help people pass the road test, learn how to pass the road test, and get a license. It's way more than that. It is how to be safe on the road. We, like your kids, your grandchildren, they drive on the road. And if somebody was able to pass the road test for 15 minutes, something, driving, he's not a driver yet. I saw many students passing the test, then within 2 weeks, first 2 weeks after being licensed, they get into accident. So we encourage people not to hesitate to learn more. For example, a highway or driving under bad weather conditions. Come take one hour or 2 hours with us. We teach you how to handle that. I've been in the business for around 8 years as a licensed driving instructor. My son is also a licensed driving instructor.
But so you're both really.
We are licensed.
We're both licensed.
Yes.
You're both certified to do this.
Yes. We trained, I trained like maybe hundreds now. Many people, even licensed people, but don't know how to drive. Many people didn't drive in years. They took the subway. They didn't drive. Then all of a sudden they come. I call the school. We need to be on the highway, feel comfortable driving. We have done that with that.
Many of our students, they come from another states, like they come from New York, for example. And in New York City, most of the students, they really don't need to have to drive. Like there is a lot of transportations solutions. Not like in Connecticut, like you will need actually to have a car and drive. So we help them how to get a license, even that in older ages, not just the teenagers. So we will train teenagers how to drive. We train all adults how to drive. We have plenty of programs coming in to our business to improve how is the driving schools will
Now, there's currently no specific requirement for older people to be retested at any point, is there?
There is.
Wait a
There is.
Wait a minute. We're talking about. Tariq, this is your first student.
Actually, many times, we receive some requests from the DMV as well as from doctors for senior people who went through mistakes. For example, one of the ladies I trained got retraining. She scratched a car, part already on the side. Then she was hesitant to stop because it was too dark for her. So she continued to her home, followed by police. Then her license was suspended. Yeah, so doctor suspected about her ability to drive.
Do they get insurance discounts for going through your course?
Of course, yeah.
For the teenagers.
For teenagers.
So the teenagers, they have
a full program.
Full program, yeah, and they will get insurance discount if they finish the full program.
Many insurance companies do that, not all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, just.
Yes.
You currently run a school somewhere else?
I've been working for Hamden Driving School for about 8 years. My son had been doing this for Hamden Driving School for 1 year now.
So this is a new venture for both of you?
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay, any further questions from the
No.
commission?
No.
Everybody good?
All set?
Looks like you're gonna
Thank
get
you.
your...
We vote on it in a little while, so you can go sit back down.
Thanks.
for a while.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Go warm up the car. Okay. Okay, Divine Street. 50 Divine Street.
Good evening. For the record, Jim Perito. I represent the new owner of 50 Divine and 60 Divine, Divine Realty. I'm here for a change of use. This property is owned by the principal who has A&M Bronx Baking. So what they'd like to do is change the use from the existing tile store and Sunrun Vivint Solar, which is about half and half of the building is split between those two, and ultimately the whole building would be a commercial bakery. Breads, rolls, pretty much everything a large bakery would move in to do. The hope, my client would like to move his entire operations out of Westchester County. I believe he's in Newark. I'm sorry?
Yonkers.
Yeah, I think the factory's in Yonkers. They have some headquarters in New Rochelle, and move it up here. And primarily because a lot of their market and their deliveries are sort of along the 95 corridor, both Fairfield County, New Haven County, and out to New London. So this is actually a perfect location for them, and they're really excited to come to the town. They've met with First Selectmen and other people in town, and they've been really, really happy with the reception and the open arms that the town has given them. So part of the delay is supply chain, frankly. A lot of their equipment, their baking, their ovens and things like that come from overseas, and it's taken a while to get them. They come from Germany, Poland, places like that. So in part supply chain, in part Ukrainian conflict has slowed things down coming from Europe. But the hope is to get that stuff over here, and as soon as they can, start putting it in place. So happy to answer any questions.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Sure,
please?
P as in Peter, E-R-I-T-O.
And you have no exterior work that's being proposed in terms of the
No, probably just
parking
signage,
lot?
probably as signage at some point, but they'd come back for a permit on that. And actually, there was a question about whether there'd be any retail, and because the regs don't allow that at this point, I've actually filed an application with you to change the regulations to allow under certain conditions a small portion of the property. I think the application's in with Alan, and notices and things like that have to happen. It won't come up probably till your next meeting.
That has nothing to do with this.
No,
Teresa,
not at all.
you'll see it at regional planning,
Yeah.
and
Right.
it should be able to come forward next month.
It's an outlet store, right? That's what you're thinking about?
No, it would be like just, it's, the whole place is manufacturing, but we proposed a regulation that would allow, if you're over a certain square footage, like this entire facility is, I think it's over 40, almost 43,000 square
Yeah, no, I'm
feet.
saying for the other application. it's for
Would
the
be,
outlet.
to be allowed, like a small portion of that, up to a certain amount, based on the size of the whole
Like,
building.
like kind of what Durante's Pasta is maybe in West Haven,
Yeah.
where they have that little small area.
So they would sell baked goods, I mean, things.
Yeah, they'd sell on a retail for a, small, that's if you pass the regulation,
but
because
we're
right
not
now you're
talking
not
about
allowed.
that.
No, I get it, but I'm just curious. So
Yeah.
you
So
would
years
sell
ago, we
like
had
dough,
that.
or they would sell actual finished products? In theory, I know we're not there.
Probably finished products.
Finished products.
Yeah.
Is there anything in that building now?
Yeah, well, the tile, the owners
You're
of the
still
tile, they have some stuff in there, and the solar company, they really don't have much stuff in the building right now. I mean, they're paying rent, but they don't really use it.
I was just curious.
Years ago, we had something like that across, by the Nissan place. There was a factory
There was a
Yeah.
bakery
They have
there.
the rail spur there, they were taking the flour and they're all done to bake all the time.
Okay. John, you got any question?
I'm good.
I'm good, getting hungry.
Mark? Mark?
Good.
No, I'm fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair,
Thanks so much.
appreciate it.
Yep.
I'm gonna give this to Alan.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. One Corporate Drive.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'll use this.
Name and address.
Yeah, Pamela Breely, and I'm representing, well, actually, I work for Tim's Sign and Lighting. We do signage. And I applied for a permit, a zoning permit for this one corporate drive. It is, we're going to have our client, which is United Rentals. They want to occupy that space. It was previously, I think, a sports training center called Diamond Zone.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now United.
Sports training in there?
What was that?
There was some sports training in there.
Yeah, sports training. So now United Rentals is going to occupy that space, and we're trying to get the signage put on the building, and we can't do that without a permit. So we had the change of use form completed and signed, and that's,
So what she's saying is, in certain instances, the system works. They needed a sign.
That's what made it
And they
come.
stopped, that's correct, that's correct.
So
yes,
what-
exactly. If we didn't have to, you know, if you guys didn't care if we just put the sign up, I wouldn't be here.
Right, so what do you want to do in there?
Oh, they're going to store and repair and rent HVAC equipment.
Okay, all inside, nothing
All
stored outside?
inside, yeah, and the sign, well, you don't care about the signage, but,
Not really. But as long as we care that you're not storing anything outside.
no, it's all gonna be stored inside and repaired inside.
Okay.
So it's,
Jim?
No, that's all I have.
No?
well, they'll be thrilled. I hope. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Okay. Okay, 125 Quinnipiac Avenue.
How you doing? My name's Adam Kaplan. Give me my address. 14 Governor's Drive, North Haven. So I just recently purchased 125 Quinnipiac Ave. I'm a local business owner. I'm a gas contractor. So I just needed a spot to put my computer for my inventory and some fittings and supply. The building's been vacant some years now and heavily overgrown. So right after I purchased, I just cleaned the property up. So I just recently spoke to the neighbor yesterday, and he said when he would pull out of his driveway, he couldn't see past all the overgrown. So he thanked me already just for clearing the property, make it presentable. But I'm just looking at, it was listed as like a utility, because I think Comcast used to be there. As like a wire transfer station or something.
Something like that, yep.
Yeah, so it's gonna be no foot traffic, there's no customers, nothing stored outside, no vehicles outside, nothing, no signage on the building, no changes, just kept up now.
So you're gonna use it just for storage?
Yeah, I'm gonna have like my computer, I'll have a desk to, maintain inventory and things like that. So there's some things that I keep at my residence, in my garage.
What's
Go ahead, Joe. I was just concerned about, the prior person that was there to you had come before us with a site plan showing us exactly what they were gonna do.
Right, so he had tenants ready to move in, I guess either to rent or buy the property, as they needed more parking for what they plan to do. But I don't need, there's gonna be no, I think there's 3 spots there now with a handicap ramp, but there's gonna be no customers, no in and out of any, public to serve. I'm not serving anyone at the property.
Just you going
Just
and
me,
working on your computer?
just me in and out.
So right now, you're kind of just growing out of your house then?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a home office, so I'm just trying to make it. So I've been in my business for about 3-4 years now, my own. I've been in the gas industry for about 10. So
what does that mean? What is a gas contractor?
yeah, so I run propane and natural gas lines.
Oh,
So in the winters I do gas log sets, fireplaces.
got it.
In the summer I'll run for pool heaters and you know, in the house, you know, for cooktops and stoves, dryers. I run all the gas lines, do all conversions.
Do you run them in from the street to the building?
No, so the gas company's responsible from the street to the property.
To the meter?
To the meter.
Yeah.
And then I go from the meter forward. Yeah.
So you're saying you don't need any additional parking?
I don't need anything.
You don't need a dumpster?
No.
You don't need nothing.
I don't need anything.
You don't want to do a site plan.
I think this is
I don't need anything.
minimalist. Minimalist.
You're gonna do the same thing you were doing out of your garage.
Correct. Correct.
So his request is really
It's
different
okay.
than the last
Right,
person
yeah.
who's coming in.
Yeah, it's completely different from what I think the last guy was looking for.
So you'll be pulling permits and for leak down tests and all that stuff?
I do that through my license, correct? Yeah.
Well, if you do well, we'll be seeing you in a year or two
Jim?
for
Yeah,
expansion.
sounds good.
You?
No issues.
What?
No questions.
Frank?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Good.
Very much.
Do I gotta stay for deliberations?
Sure.
You could.
You could if you want.
Adam, if you want to just call tomorrow, you can call.
Okay, I'll say.
Okay, we got 72 Washington Avenue.
Good evening, my name is Heather Stearns. I live at 33 Hilltop Road in Cheshire, and we are looking to lease space at 70 Washington Avenue. I believe it's, you may have said 72, I thought your office said 70, but
The agenda
it's
says 72.
Okay, so-
72. So it's an interesting.
Yeah, but I think you're changing use to 70.
Yeah, so it's an interesting parcel of land. There's 3 properties currently that on the same land. So there's,
Three buildings on the
3
same
buildings on the
parcel.
same parcel. When I came to see Alan, he indicated that it was 70. The landlord is telling us we're 72. So there's a little confusion, but
It's the Hart Building now.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. So we are here for a change of use. The current space is vacant, but it was an office building of some sort, the Hart Building, as you said. We are looking to have a music business in that space. We are known as Pitch Drop, but we'll be doing business as the School of Rock. It's a franchise. It provides lessons to students from ages 3 on up to adult. Students, the difference between our music business and other music businesses is that we are a performance-based business. Our business provides not only lessons, but we then take students and we pair them up into a band situation. They form a band and they rehearse together as a band in addition to their lesson. They have a weekly band session of 2 hours, and then at the end of the season, they go out into the community and they perform in a venue, so they get stage performance time. So there will be no performances in the building. We're not gathering large amounts of people. It's just individual student lessons and then small group lessons, like band lessons, and then out into the community for performance. As far as parking goes, I know you guys are going to ask about parking. Our students mostly do not drive, just like the driver's ed. Very similar. Most of our students will be under the age of 18. We do offer an adult lessons and adult bands, but the adults come in late at night, and the property has lots of parking, and the other businesses are then closed.
Right.
What is
That's a good
the
answer.
primarily the age group that you deal with?
Well, we start at age 3, and we move on up until adult. I mean, we could see adults as 60s, 70s, and they can come in for a lesson, or they don't have to do the performance program. They can just come for lessons if they choose. So
what do you actually teach? Everything?
no, we're a school of rock, so we teach rock and roll. So we do a lot of performance, so with vocals, keys, drums, guitar, bass, so those are the
Students bring
main.
their own instruments, you provide amplifiers, things of that nature? or-
So we provide everything except for the students that take bass or guitar. They'll be bringing their own. We will have a small retail space so students can purchase appropriate instruments for their level of study or where they're at. And they can upgrade, they can sell it back and buy something upgraded once they get better.
But
And-
you do teach them to play together as a
Yes,
band.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. What we find in the music industry is that students who not only take lessons but actually perform with other students stick to their instrument for life. Or lessons only tend to kind of give up on it. It's a little boring just to take a lesson and go home.
Are you currently in business now?
No, actually, our son is the person that will be running the business, our son Michael. He's a full-time musician, and full-time musicians tend to work nights. He teaches nights, so that's why he's not here, and we're the funders of the endeavor, the financiers. So, but yes, it will be our son. We'll do some general management with him, but he'll be the music director.
So if they're school-aged kids, is there actually anything going on during the day, during the week? Because wouldn't they be in school?
So, yes. So the 3 and 4-year-old program we will have available during the day, where students will have small group sessions with young students, probably 30 to 40-minute sessions. But the hours of the business will run typically from about 12:30 until 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Students start coming in around 2:30.
Because this is the building right next to Webster.
Correct, to the
And
left of it.
That driveway can be touchy.
It's an interesting setup to get into
It's an
the
interesting setup
to the
that we
business.
approved a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we were told originally that Hart would have like 4 people all day, and that didn't turn out to be true. But they've been going for quite a while. And I think you're right. At night, you'll have no parking issues. If you had heavy presence during the day, there would be parking issues.
So, just so we're clear with the franchise, parents aren't really allowed to, they can come and drop their children off.
Right.
They're not allowed to go into the building. For safety of the children that are participating, they can come to the lobby, but there's very little waiting space. So most often, students would be dropped off to us, they'll be buzzed into the building, and the building is their space.
Okay.
Good.
I'm good.
Very good.
Is there no bagpipes?
No bagpipes, I'm sorry. We can see if we can get an instructor if you were interested.
Can you make it a condition of approval?
You said everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Say that again. That's what it was.
Okay, 500 Washington Avenue.
Hello, my name's Justine Nuzzle Mounting. I live at 23 Dogwood Road, North Haven. And I am here to change use of space at 500 Washington Ave, second floor, Unit 1. That used to be an office space. It has been vacant for quite some time due to a renovation. And I'll be moving in with a yoga and bar studio.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So the business has been a mobile studio for the past 3 years. Again, the name is Nomad because of that. And I've been renting space at other places and also teaching outdoors. Classes will run in the evenings during the week and weekend mornings. I'm also a school teacher, so yoga classes are in the evening and weekend mornings. Class sizes may average anywhere from 8 to 12. I also work privately with people.
Okay. Well, I don't have to take off on this one. Yeah, how large an area is that area?
The unit that I am proposing to rent is 1,165 square feet.
How many people you actually have there at one time?
at one time. Average group class can be anywhere from 8 to about 12 people, if I had to give an average.
Good.
I'm fine with it, yes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So it's one of those back ones.
Okay, next up is 34 Middletown Avenue. 34 Middletown Avenue.
Hello everyone, my name is Julia Benitez. I live in 27 on Idlewood Drive, North.
The last name.
Benitez, B-E-N-I-T-E-Z. And that's my dad, Gregorio Benitez. So what we are intending to do is propose a change of use. Before, in the 34 Middletown Avenue, there was a fish market. So we're intending to open a Venezuelan food restaurant. A little bit about us, we actually have a food truck that opened in June 2022 in Long Wharf, New Haven, and it was very popular. It has had great acceptance to the public. We closed during the winter because of the weather, and several of our customers have reached out to us asking when we're gonna open again. We are planning to reopen in April, yet we do want to offer our customers the opportunity to have a place that is available at all times for them to go and eat. In the second page, you're gonna find our menu. We do offer arepas, tequeños, empanadas, typical Venezuelan food. It's had great acceptance, as I said before. And our floor plan right now is to take the small lot that is in the 34 Middletown Avenue. It has 7 parking spots in the front. It has 1 handicap spot. And also, we looked into it. There has garbage disposal, recycling, oil disposal available. Our plan is to have a fast food restaurant style, so customers will order at the counter, wait at their table, wait to be called in, pick up the food and eat. And we will also have a pickup available and delivery options as well. We are planning to open from Monday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we're planning to have about 3 to 6 employees.
So you're looking for more than takeout, you're looking for some tables?
We're gonna have some tables, yes, we're planning to have some tables inside, 4 to 6 tables.
How many tables, 4 to 6?
Then you go up, you order, you go just wait for the number to be called or whatever.
Yeah, like 5 guys, sort of like.
Now, you mentioned a food truck. Where are you gonna?
Oh, the food truck is separate. That's in the New Haven area. We already have our parking and everything,
Okay.
so it's just expanding into a physical location.
You have a place to park it when you sell the food from it?
Yes.
Do you have a place to park it at night?
We do, and it's separate. It's not it's not part of this request.
Does it stay in New Haven on Long Wharf overnight?
We have a parking in New Haven where
Okay.
it stays. Mhm.
So you're not only gonna prepare food here, you're going to retail it there?
Sure.
We're gonna have a kitchen, and we're gonna have a prep area. And in the fish market, they already had that space designated. So we're just going to use that space, obviously remodel it, and prepare the food there and then sell it.
So, but I mean, it is outside that they eat, is that correct?
No, they eat
No,
inside.
Inside,
They're
inside.
saying 4 to 6 tables, and that's an important point. So if you want outdoor seating, you're gonna have to come back to me, to us,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
We're assuming your 4 to 6 tables are inside of those walls.
Yes, sir.
We totally,
It's okay.
I gotta think about this. Go ahead, Jim, or her.
This is why they have to retrain you for
Yeah.
the
You
drive.
gotta- You're telling me.
I don't have any questions, I think it's
No, I
great.
don't have any questions, so it's gonna be, like she said, like a small 5 guys. So there's gonna be a couple of tables, there's gonna be a lot of takeout, I would assume. Yeah, and there's room in that fish market.
Right.
And Nick's Char Pit is in front that has, you know.
Lots of size seating.
Well, full disclosure, my first job, that was inside, not in a field. Yeah, so, no, I'm fine with this, I'm good. There's plenty of parking, in my opinion, here, but, yeah.
But I think it's not what I understood.
They are filling up the strip shopping center that's in the back. The
Yeah.
Nick's is Nick's.
Right.
That strip center, there's a house in the front.
Right.
This would be the building in between. In the back, you guys had approved a retail store, like a
Yeah.
smoke shop.
Right.
The pizza place has, we signed off on a no change of use as a new proprietor for the pizza place. So they may be full at this point in the back shopping center. So this would fill the other
Right.
building in between,
Yeah.
which hasn't been occupied in
Yeah, that hasn't.
quite
been-
some time.
That
Right.
hasn't been open in over 25 years,
And
probably,
what are
the
your
fish
hours?
market.
How late are you gonna stay open?
Until 7 p.m.
It's just till 7, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's 100% occupied now.
When'd you plan on opening again?
When?
Yep.
Well, we have some remodelations to do, so probably like in 6 months from now, 5 to 6 months from now.
Faster, please.
We'll try.
Nope.
Nope.
You're good. All set.
Thank you so much for your
Very good, thank you so much.
So just give me a call, stop in the office. That has to increase traffic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Give me that. Okay. I need a vote to go into deliberation.
Want to go in?
I'm sorry.
You wanna take a break, or you wanna go into
Okay,
deliberation?
take a break. Take a break.
Whatever you want.
Take a break for 10 minutes, 10-minute break.
All right, we're gonna take a 5-10-minute break.
Okay, can I get a motion to go into deliberation?
I'll make a motion to go into deliberations.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just before we go into deliberations, I'm sure everybody else is nodding on behalf of the commission. Our chairman lost somebody this week, and we all wanted to express our condolences and concerns.
I thank you very much. Yep. I thank you muchly. Nothing I can really say about that. It's just, it's a long time love affair, and I guess it's just life, so. But anyway, we're trying tonight. I thank you so much, folks. That being said, Jim, you good to go?
Yeah,
Okay. Teresa, the public hearing? P 07-08. It's a modification of the site plan approval.
The subdivision.
Subdivision. I'm
Sure.
sorry. Subdivision approval. Board on the table on this one? Board on the table on this too? Talk about, make sure everybody's on board with this, so we understand what we're doing. There was so confusion with the public. I mean, I'm taking a motion to approve this as it was presented, to remove the city water to be replaced with well water. That's the only difference in the subdivision. The rest of it stands as it was approved so many years ago. If anything to add to that, I know you're quite interested, yes, Jim, please add to it.
Well, don't look if you
have-
make the motion to approve, or,
Yeah,
because that's
what I
not gonna
did.
happen.
No,
The
he's not gonna.
sprinklers,
No, I say, if you have anything to add,
just the sprinklers,
yeah, well, it's it.
the sprinklers.
Well, the sprinklers are gonna be in there, they gotta be there.
Yeah.
They gotta be there with the, with the fire marshal's recommendation, so everybody understands that, what we have is what we discussed. We have city sewers, we have, wanna have driven wells, and there will be a and there will be the sprinklers in the house as far as I know. But I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to.
I have a motion.
I will second that motion.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Opposed.
Okay, 2 opposed. 2, the motion carries. Okay? Very good. Okay, we go on to the site plan, which is P23-01. That's John Zolotman. I'd like a motion to approve the site plan application as it was presented by John.
I'll make a motion to approve with the addition of the bollards that we spoke about.
Okay. I have a motion, and a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
I think bollards on the other.
Who does show balance?
Yeah, under,
Bollards are on
the one
86,
under other.
yeah.
On the
Yeah,
other,
that's right.
82.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So they-
82.
I have bollards in my head, I apologize.
Okay, good
So I
enough.
just make the motion to approve as.
Good enough. I get a second? Who said?
I thought somebody did.
I'll second. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Pam. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And I get a motion to approve the CAM, P23-01A.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve. I have a second. Jim?
I'll second, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion for the CAM and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, aye, opposed? Okay, on to Massimo Drive. I get a motion to approve as it was presented to us by joining the, I guess, 2 lots.
So let me try to do it correctly. I think what we want to do is approve the as-built is the final plan for 8 Massimo
That's a good way to go, yeah.
which will show the final plan not having that back area paved. So I'll make a motion to approve the as-built as the final plan for this project.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion, and I have the second, Pam? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good. That out of the way. Okay, now we'll go right down, this is still under other, is 323 Washington Avenue. It is to put the compressor.
condenser, yeah.
Yeah, condenser in the back of the building. I get a motion to approve it as it was presented.
Motion to approve.
And this also, this does have bollards. so
This-
goes
Yes,
on
it
the-
does. Yep. I have a motion, can I get a second, Jim?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, Jim second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we have 320 Washington Avenue. This is the receptacles for car charging up at the Athena Diner. We discussed this, and it's, looks pretty much straightforward. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? Good. 86 Quinnipiac Avenue. This is to put a tank, this is, yeah, we need to put ballards around it.
Correct.
This was the
Yeah,
bollards.
put the
This is what
ballards
needed.
around this here, to put the exterior tank, I think it's a 5,000 gallon tank. I believe that's what he said.
I think it
In any
was. Yep,
event,
you're right.
Get a motion to approve it as it was presented.
So I'll make a motion to approve with the bollards because the application didn't actually show.
Yep, good. Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, just go to extension. This is 1934 Hartford Turnpike. It's Frank Muslin's place. He failed to get the act on the Mylar. Right, so he needs a 90-day extension. Can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve the 90-day extension for 1934 Hartford Turnpike.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, we took up bonds right here. This is a bond release on 342 Washington Avenue, which there was,
So let me just
outstanding-
ask Andy, is everything in compliance? Has everything been done?
It is now, yes, thank
How
you.
tall are those?
Should have had somebody standing next to them, so we.
For reference, right?
That's right, you should have gone and stood next to
Right,
them.
yeah.
That would have been better. Okay, do we need a motion?
Yeah, can I get a motion to approve it?
I'll make a
Release.
motion to release the bond at 342 Washington Avenue.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Good, very good. All right, now we're moving right along to the change of use on 2 Broadway, the office to a service.
I'll make the motion to approve the change of use for number 2 Broadway.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the 51 Giles Avenue, motion to approve the, as it was presented there, expanding upon the business that is in there, they're staying there, there's nothing outside. It's a large expansion, which is very good. A motion to approve that?
Are we approving both?
No, just one.
Just one, okay.
So which,
Yep.
okay. The first one?
Yep,
To
the
do
first
the
one.
automotive to assembly first.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second?
I'll
Okay.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 51, same building, couple doors down. Motion to approve, but this is also auto assembly. I think it's just backwards here. Auto assembly to manufacturing. Can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed, no opposed, okay. 342 State Street, yogurt to a driving school. They want to put a driving school in it on the other end of that building. I guess it's set up for it pretty muchly so.
I'll make the motion to approve the change of use to a drive-through at 342 State Street.
Okay, got a motion? to
And I'll
approve?
second that. I just wanted to say to a number of these applicants, we deeply appreciate all the information you've given us. It's very helpful to understand what's going in. So I'll second the driving school.
Real nice job. Okay. Did you second that, Jim?
I did.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Second. Okay, 50 Divine Street. This is
Bakery.
business to manufacturing, actually.
Bakery.
So, motion to approve as it was presented to us.
Motion to approve.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second that motion to approve 50.
Okay. Good enough. Motion to approve, and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 1 Corporate Drive, sports training to change to storage. Motion to approve the way it was presented.
I'll approve 1 Corporate Drive.
Okay. Have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. 125 Quinnipiac Avenue. Here's a gentleman who said he doesn't need anything. So.
And he's still here. He
I
needs
don't know why
nothing,
he's
but he's
here.
waiting for us anyway.
I go for the minimalist guy. All right.
All
I'll
he
make a
needs
motion to
is a
approve.
vote.
I will second the motion to approve 125 Quinnipiac.
That he doesn't need anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Except a change of use.
Okay. That's it. Oh, I have a motion, I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, 72 Washington Avenue.
Go get your computer, move it in.
Oh, yeah.
He's already going.
He's gonna buy everybody down at the bar. He can afford to now. Okay, 72 Washington Avenue.
I will make a motion to approve the School of Rock.
Good. Very good.
Like saying that.
Okay, got a Motion to approve, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Good. Motion to approve 500 Washington Avenue. It's an office to yoga. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second the motion to approve 500 Washington.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. 34 Middletown Avenue. They're gonna go from retail to restaurant. They just presented it to us that they're gonna put in, whatever they're gonna put in there, and they're gonna have a little restaurant, I guess, so.
Venezuelan restaurant.
Venezuelan food.
Venezuelan food there. Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve for the arepas, yes.
Okay, I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Correspondence, you'll have to take that up with Alan. And can I get a motion to approve the minutes for January 9th?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much, Jim. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Good job.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.